Hi there, this is the first in a series of videos. I'm going to show you how to play different kinds of loops using an electric drum kit. Okay, in the videos that follow, I'll be covering drum loops in different styles. You can approach pretty much any style of music and find a way to play it. So, for example, drum and bass, dubstep, hip-hop, breaks. I'll show you how you might tackle those different styles and find out ways to play those. And over the next few weeks and months, I'll keep adding to these. So please, anyone who's interested, drummers, producers, whoever, please get in contact through the website. If you're interested, for example, how would you play the funky drummer, chop it up, play variations, etc. Or producers, if you have a beat or a track and you want to see how it might be played, just get in touch, send it in. Okay. In this first video, I'll be showing you how to chop up and play a basic drum and bass loop. I've been working with my good friend Andy, drum and bass producer Wicker Man, for a few years now. We started out working out how to play drum and bass tracks, so that's a good place to start. In the first few videos, I'll be covering drum and bass and dubstep tracks that me and Wicker Man have been doing recently. Also check out the live version of Wicker Man and J Magic's track Mosquito. We played that at the Drum and Bass Awards at the Ministry of Sound. Okay, so let's start with our first loop. I'll play it around a few times first. Okay, that is taken from Deep Down, one of Wicker Man's more recent drum and bass tunes. Okay, it can be fun and exciting to play that round and round, and we need to be able to keep going with that consistently. But once you've learned how to do that, you'll probably want to learn how to break it down and play variations on that original loop to create new patterns and fills. We'll go into more detail in other videos regarding variations, fills and so on. But in fact, one of the steps to be able to play a loop like that consistently and smoothly can be to start by focusing on sections of the loop. So for example, the first half of that loop is this. So you'd actually try and get just that part sounding smooth first. Other parts might be this section here. So any sections like that might be the first source of variations in playing for the beat. So for example, I might even break this first bit. I might break that down even more. So just the first two hits. So and then other parts of the loop. Okay. Again, I'll get into more detail about variations like that in other videos. Also, I'll be covering how to play a whole track. So, for example, with Wicker Man's tracks, whether they're drum and bass or dubstep, as well as different drum patterns, stops, fills, etc., you might have several different kits, actual different sounds with different samples in one track. As we're looking at the main loop from Deep Down, let's check out some of the different kits that are in that. Okay, we'll look at those in another video, as well as how you might approach playing the whole track with kits changing between sections. And there are different ways around that. But for now, let's go through the first stage in the process. Taking a loop, chopping it up and putting it onto the electric drum kit so that you can physically play it. Okay, here's the first loop from the drop to Deep Down. I've put it into recycle here. We can use this function here, the sensitivity. Okay, as you can see, it detects points where each hit is coming in. These are the transients. It doesn't always detect those or get them quite right. You can see here, I've got them right here. So it's good to go in and get those as accurate as possible. I'll just show you how you do that with the first chop point. Yeah, it normally does that, unless it's very quiet background. So yeah, I like to go in and do that with all those hits. So I've already done that with this recycle file here. Let's listen to each part. Okay, because this is a short, straightforward loop, and I've played very similar loops before, I already know where I'm going to put those hits on the pads. But with the beat I'm not sure about, looking at the loop, really listening and comparing parts. So for example, listening to kicks to make sure, to hear the difference, to hear if they're different. That's a really important part of the process, and we'll look at that process with a more complex beat. But with this loop we can just export these segments into a folder. I've already done that, so I can just close that. Here's our folder. Now let's put these into a software sampler. Okay. When you're playing out, you might choose to use the electronic drum brain or a hardware sampler instead. But this is the quickest way while you're working stuff out. Which, if the beat is complex, you might want to experiment playing it different ways before you settle on something that will work well. But I already know how I'm going to play this. If we just look at the drum view, it'll be like this. So it's just a matter of putting those in order onto the pads. So let's go back to the screen view now, and we can have those sounds mapped out in about a minute. So here's the kick. Hi-hat. Snare. These next two hits. This will be our kick. Second kick, second snare, and the last two hits. Okay, that's it. Now it's ready to play.